Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Friday the 6th of May 2022. Today's Millwall news, we're going to start off with this. This was put out last night just as I was at the time I was making yesterday's video, and it's Mill's end of season awards night, takes place at the Den. Yeah, it happened on Thursday yesterday, and they handed out all the trophies and stuff, and we've got some pictures. Hosted by Aidan McGee, the Lions' first team squad and management entered the Den's 1885 club to rapturous applause as the night got underway before a three-course meal was served and awards were handed out. Following that, an auction took place, with proceeds going to the Lions Food Hub, Millwall Community Trust and more, alongside a raffle before a DJ played the rest of the night away. Take a look at our gallery from the night above. And here are the winners. I'm not going to read them all out. You can pause it and read them if you want, but we're going to go through the pictures. There you go. Shea Yojo there, looking sharp in his sky blue suit. Very nice, very nice. Tyler Burry there. Gary Rowett. Big Man Bart. Ryan Sanford and Jake Cooper. Tom Bradshaw. I don't think that's not a player, is it? I don't know who that is. Well, there you go. Technically, he's wearing a bow tie, so there you go. There's the auction of someone's boots. There's George Saville pretending not to be bored. There's a signed football there. Puma football. Billy Mitchell. Les Withers. Big man Murray Wallace. Jake Cooper. How tall is he? Oh, he got the goal of the season award. He did for, I think it was a Sheffield United. Does it say under here? Goal of the season versus Sheffield United away, yeah. Danny McNamara there. And there's Jed Wallace. Sean Hutchison. Nice. Good stuff. So seems everyone was having a lot of fun there. We're going to move on now to talking of Player of the Season awards. Here is an interview with the man himself, Player of the Year Murray Mountain Wallace. His summit special. See what they did there? And his dedication to training saw him rope his partner in during lockdown. The Shaman once sang that they could move any mountain, but they clearly had never contested a 50-50 challenge with Murray Wallace at the Den. The 29-year-old Scottish defender has been rock solid this season and was named Millwall Football Club Player of the Season last weekend. Wallace has had an impact at both ends of the pitch. He has scored 6 goals this season, including coming close to a first ever senior hat-trick in the EFL Cup against Cambridge. Bart Biakowski had won the award in the previous 2 seasons, but had to settle for third on this occasion, with right wing back Danny McNamara voted runner-up. Wallace was signed by Neil Harris in the summer of 2018 from Scunthorpe United, has seen his popularity with the fans snowball, quietly, effectively and efficiently going about his job. I came to meet him, Harris, and discuss the move. Wallace, who was playing 143 times for the Lions, told the South London Press. He was quite honest. I think there was a bit of interest in Jake Cooper that year, and he said he didn't know if Jake was still going to be there. If not, he said that ideally I could slot in and be a decent replacement, but he also said he'd see me play as a left back as well as a left-sided centre-back, so I was very much in his plans either way. That was key for me, knowing I had the opportunity to play straight away. I knew Millwall had enjoyed a great season before I joined, and that it was going to be hard to break in initially after the team had performed so well. What I liked about Harris was that he was honest and told you how it was. It's lovely to hear nice things, but if it's not the truth, then it quickly wears off. It took a little while to settle in and get to my regular consistent self. I feel honoured to get this award because it shows the fans really appreciate my performances and my hard work. This feels like a reward for that. Wallace's fitness is one of his strengths, and he even roped his partner Nicole, the pair tied a knot this summer, well, congratulations, into his training during the first lockdown due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I don't live too far from the training ground, he explained. I went there to do a run around the training pitch and it was getting a bit repetitive and tedious. I just missed playing a bit of football. I asked my missus if she minded coming along and chucking and crossing some balls into the box. I didn't even know if she could kick the ball. I didn't realise, but there were some cameras at the training ground that caught her crossing some balls. That's how word got out. I was too embarrassed after that to bring her back down again. One of Wallace's goals this season has special significance. His 73rd minute header from Scott Malone's crossing a 2-1 win over Cardiff in February. It was the first game that his son Rory, now 15 weeks old, had attended. I think he was asleep through it all, so he wouldn't have taken too much in, said Wallace. It was nice to mark it that way. I don't think I'll ever forget that. I said to Nicole, if I score, I've got to either do sucking the thumb or rock the baby. But I just got too excited and ran away to celebrate. The partners have a family box down to the left in a Coppola Lane stand. I did remember to run in his direction at least. It's a sign of Wallace's modesty and understated nature that he says he was a little bit surprised to win the award. Bart has been putting in unbelievable performances week in, week out for the past 3 seasons, said the Millwall defender. He'd won the award the last 2 seasons, rightly so, and was in the running again this season. He performs at such a high level. And Danny has worked his way through the ranks, going out on loan a couple of times, and every time coming back a better player. He's improving week in and week out with his maturity and reading of the game. Millwall have got a really bright future with him. Wallace has been capped 4 times by his country at under 21 level, but a senior call-up has eluded him. The former Rangers trainee has been playing his football south of the border since 2012. That international recognition would be amazing, but I've never really heard any word from them, said Wallace. I'm always hopeful, but if it's not meant to be, then it's not meant to be. I'll keep working hard and fingers crossed that call comes one day. Augusto for grafting is a Wallace trademark. Where does that come from? It's probably just from my upbringing, he responded. You get your rewards from working hard. Nothing that is worth anything comes easy. You can't go wrong with that approach. Hear. Mill still have a chance to claim a playoff place going into the final day of the season at a Bournemouth side who have hopefully partied hard since sealing their promotion on Tuesday with a 1-0 win over Nottingham Forest. Only Fulham have taken more points at home than the Lions, although the Cherries can leapfrog them with a victory this weekend. Wallace feels to even being with a sniff of the top 6 is a big achievement. He said, as a group, we strive to improve on performances and results every season. We're on 69 points, which is already 7 better than the one before. In that respect, it has been an improved season. Yes, it has. Slowly catchy monkey. You would imagine that if we keep moving forward at the rate we are, then next season we should be in the playoffs. As the season's going along, not just bubbling along, then we get in at the end. We should be there or thereabouts throughout the whole season. So maybe that might convince some people to come back next season. Maybe Jed Wallace signs for another year. Maybe just give it another year, mate. See how we go. I don't know. So we got this story coming out again, which is interesting. So this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, which, as was the last story I just read you, the Den's North Stand is set to be open to home fans for some games next season after a successful trial in Saturday's fixture against Peterborough. Normally, only the top tier is open and only houses away fans, but demand for tickets saw posh supporters placed in one upper quadrant. The crowd of 16,705 was Millwall's second biggest of the Championship campaign. The Lions are likely to open up part of that stand for future fixtures, where the away take-up is smaller. Wigan, Preston North End or Blackpool, all prime examples, if they stay in the second tier. What do you mean if they stay in the second tier? What do you mean if they stay in the Championship? Well, they are, because relegation's settled. Or do you mean this is like literally going on? Not just next season, but in the future. But here's the thing: where's the demand? Now, the demand was there because that was the last home game of the season, and Peterborough were already relegated and didn't bring any fans really. Because why would you want to come see your team relegated? If they're already being relegated, what's the point now? The fans that did turn up were probably like 100%ers, the ones who go home and away every game anyway, or the ones who live in London. So, although travelling to Peterborough is not that hard now that they got the Thameslink trains that go up that way. It's quite an easy journey actually. But yeah, so where's the demand's not going to be there, especially for these games. If we have the Wigan, Preston, or Blackpool, unless it's on a special day like bank holiday or something like that, we're not going to sell 16,000. We'll be lucky to sell 12, or you know what I mean. So that was a unique circumstance, and again for that last home game, and I'm glad it worked out. But although saying that, if it is at the end of the season and we are in the playoffs, now here's the thing: that if bear with me, if next season we do improve, we carry on what we're doing this season, we go a little bit better, Gary Rat stays and Phoebe comes back, and we actually get some fit players and they play, and we start getting results, and maybe Jed Wallace signs on for just one more year. If we do that, then the demand will be there. Because here's the thing: if you're in the playoff places throughout the season, in September, in October, in November, you're then potentially playing for top 2. Because the gap's not going to be there until later on in the season, until March. The gap's not going to open up. So you're still, as you go along in October, November, December, if you're 4th or you're 5th, you're technically probably going to be a win or a couple of wins away from 2nd and 1st. So then the Millwall fans will be very excited about that, I'm sure. And then we'll get the crowds for that. So maybe there might be a demand for it if we are competing. So yeah, maybe. But yeah, that might be a thing to look forward to. Even if maybe they'll do it. I don't know how much of a headache it is, just to give people some more room, rather than having them all squeezed in the West Stand and all the other stands. Just open up the North and spread it out a bit. Even if it isn't like wall-to-wall sellout. But yeah, there they go. They're going to be doing that. So we're going to move on to this now, and this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, and Kai Bennett of the South London Press has collated the interviews from all the different managers who are involved in this 4-way battle for 2 playoff places. So what's happening here? The Championship final day, Millwall, Borough, Sheffield United and Luton managers all have their say on dramatic finale. Millwall are in a 4-way race to make the playoffs, with Middlesbrough, Sheffield United and Luton fighting with them to make the top 6 on the final day of the 21-22 Championship campaign. South Londoners need to beat Bournemouth and hope Luton lose to Reading, and Middlesbrough fail to win at Preston North End. The other way Millwall could make the playoffs is if Fulham can beat Sheffield United by a big goal swing, Borough fail to win, and the Lions beat the Cherries. Yes. Here are what the 4 managers have said about the playoff race going into the final day. Mr. Gary Rat: it's still out of our hands, we know that, but a 10-goal swing certainly changes 1 or 2 things. The last day is going to be exactly the same as any other last day. There are lots of different permutations. It's going to be about who can go and hold their nerve under pressure when it really matters. We're not going to probably know that until about 2:30 on Saturday afternoon. It is very, very exciting. and then they give the odds to make the playoffs, which doesn't really make any sense, because if that's the odds just to make the playoffs, well, here's the thing. I did a little thing the other day, or today actually. So I clicked, what did I click? I clicked on Millwall to beat Bournemouth. I clicked on Reading to beat Luton, because we need those two things to happen, and then I clicked on double chance, Preston and the draw versus Middlesbrough. And that, as a treble, works out. That's probably the most likely way that we can get in if Middlesbrough mess up. And that works out as 49 to 1 on Ladbrokes. I didn't put any money in it because I didn't want to jinx it. My betting recently is not very good. Now, if you add into that Fulham to win against Sheffield United, just to win, but we need them to win by 5-0. If we win by a 1 goal, if we win by 1 and Fulham beat them by 5, that will help us on a goal difference to go above Sheffield United. So that's the only other way we can get in. If you add that to the one that I just said, that takes it up to 170 to 1. So if you are going to have a bet, don't bet on where it says to make the playoffs, because if that's what they're offering you, that's fucking garbage. You can do what I just said about the results and get 49 to 1 rather than that. And we need those results to happen. We need to beat Bournemouth. We need Preston to win or draw against Middlesbrough, and we need Reading to beat Luton. So if all three of them, you add that in the treble, that's 49 to 1. So do that. Don't do fucking odds to make the playoffs 18 to 1. You're like literally, you're robbing yourself if you do that. So Nathan Jones, the Luton Town manager. We've got to dust ourselves down and make sure we're ready for the home game, and we've got to win one home game. That's basically what we have to do. We would have taken that in terms of being in the mix. We have to make sure we don't dwell on Monday's 7-0 loss at Fulham. Hopefully we're not too depleted and we go into the game knowing what we need. We know if we can get a win, we will be in there. A point may do it, but you never know. But we can't be relying on that. Yeah. Exactly. Now, Chris Wilder of Borough. Wiley Wilder. We've got to win. We take it to the 46th game of the season, which would have taken that 100% before we walked in. You can't control stuff like that, other results. I don't think it's any good getting caught up in it, trying to work out who does what or who doesn't, the psychological aspect of it. The biggest thing is that we're going into the 46th game of the season, and our season is still alive. Indeed. Paul Heckingbottom, Sheffield United manager. Pressure is a privilege. We are in this position because we've earned it. You have to enjoy it. How many times have we spoken about it when you're not playing for anything at this stage? This is different. We want to be doing this. It's how we want to play. We try all the time, but different things trigger these performances, and it will come down to mindset. But my message won't be any different. Carefree is the wrong word, but it appears that way when you are gung-ho and relentless. So it seems he seems to be taking it the easiest out of all of them. So, oh, it's just another game. We'll carry on. My message won't be any different. So, is he being a bit complacent? Hopefully, because well, here's the thing: they can still lose to Fulham and not be affected by if it's a small loss. So they'll if they play for the draw and come out, they could come unstuck. They could really come unstuck if they play for the draw. And if they end up losing, what do then? They double down on the defending, or they try and go for it? Because if they try and go for it, they could get caught again. They could be ripped apart, which is what we want. Or if they just try and double down, park the bus even harder, even when they're already losing 1-0, maybe. If you're inviting the pressure on, so what do you do? What do you do? Let Fulham come at you? Let them get a bit of luck trying to score some goals? I don't know. But this quote from him, he seems a bit complacent now. Oh dear. So, we got this from news@den.co.uk. AFC Bournemouth boss on whether he will change the side, plus his thoughts on Millwall's season. Scott Parker said he hasn't decided yet whether he will make changes to his side on the last day of the season against Millwall. The Lions have to win at the Vitality Stadium against opponents who are guaranteed to finish second after they won automatic promotion by beating Nottingham Forest 1-0 on Tuesday. Whee. Well done, Bournemouth. Congratulations. The Cherries will be without midfielder Jefferson Lerma, who went off injured against Forest. Parker has the option to give minutes to players who haven't featured as often this season. He was asked if he could switch things up against Gary outside. Maybe, but I'll decide that tomorrow, Parker said on Bournemouth's official website on Friday. There are options there for us to do that if I want to, but like I said, we'll decide that tomorrow. We experienced playing Millwall at their place, and they're a really tough opposition. They can make life really hard for you. They're an aggressive team and a physical team, so it's going to be a tough game. They've got it all to play for as well. They need to get a result and hope that others fall their way. It would be an incredible achievement for them to get in the playoffs, so it's going to be a tough game. Indeed. Now, the rules say, it's written down, literally, you need to play your strongest team. And then underneath it says, guidance with the above rule. We expect you to field at least 10 players from the previous matchday squad. So they're saying you need to play your strongest team, but then they say, oh, but you can make 8 changes. So here's the thing, he could make 8 changes. If they don't, they get like put on a naughty step and they can get fined in that. But they say, well, we'll let you make 8 changes now. That's just from the matchday squad. So basically the 7 players that were on the bench and then 1 extra. So you could put the players that were on the bench for the last game, you could put them in the starting lineup, and then you could put a different bunch of players on the bench or whatever you want to do, or you could put the other players. You could put the players who started on the bench, and then you've got basically got the same squad, but you've rotated it by putting the subs in the starting lineup and the starting lineup on the subs bench. But we will see. We will find out. The team will come out around 11:30, and interesting to see what Bournemouth do. Even more interested to see what Garrett does. I think I don't think there's any really right team or wrong team to pick. There's no way he has to play, but we'll find out tomorrow at 11:30. So tomorrow we have this. So we got the beam back because Sky have decided not to show our game. They're actually showing the Luton Reading game. That's the only game they're showing, which is a bit of a piss take, to be honest with you. I made a video about that. You watch that, and I'm not going to get into it again. If you want to hear what I had to say about that, watch that video. The club said the tickets were going to go off sale Friday at 4 PM, so today at 4 PM. They now announced, oh, it says they're at the bottom of sale at 4 PM. They've now announced that you can actually go down there and buy tickets at 10 AM. Now, this suggests to me that there isn't a lot of market for it. Maybe not a lot of people are interested. Maybe because the trains are fucked up. I don't know. Maybe they're just going to be watching illegal streams. Maybe there's 1,318 people going down to Bournemouth officially with tickets. Maybe a few others will be going down there anyway, because if it does happen, they want to be in the area while it's happening. I don't know. But yeah, you can still go down to the Den tomorrow to watch the Beanback and the SE16 bar, which I've said before is a bit annoying. It's going to be on like a normal sized TV, I think. and that's the outside bar. Now they were using that during COVID for obvious reasons, but beanbags. I've been to beanbag that was in the stadium where you're looking at the big screen. And I've been to another one where you're in the exec lounge, and it was absolutely ramo and good atmosphere all round. I know it's going to be good weather tomorrow. It's going to be quite sunny and hot, but probably would have preferred it to be probably in the stand, to be honest with you, watching it on a big screen. But hey ho, it is what it is. And just a reminder, if you're interested in this, so the gates open at 11 AM. You can go down and buy tickets from 10. The game is at 12:30. They're obviously going to be selling. It's a bar. They're going to be selling drinks and that. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the trains. The trains are not running. There are no trains to South Bermondsey all weekend because they're replacing the crossover lines at Peckham Rye. There's also no overground from Surrey Quays to Peckham Rye either. That uses the same line. So if you're coming in from afar, you're probably better off going to New Cross and then getting the overground up to Surrey Quays and walking from there. But I don't think a lot of people have bought tickets for it, because why would they then let people pay on a day, basically? Anyway, let's get to the actual game, the preview. Here we go. This is the history of the fixture of Bournemouth versus Millwall over the years. Now, I've sorted it alphabetically, which is a bit annoying because they are listed here, two different names. AFC Bournemouth, which I think they did that on purpose to get themselves at the top of all the alphabetical things, didn't they? To get above Arsenal. Which is a bit annoying. Like, any alphabetical list of football teams, you see AFC Bournemouth at the top. It's like in the yellow pages you got Aardvark Security, or Aardvark whatever, taxis, because they wanted to get themselves at the top of the listings. Bit of a piss take, because here's what they were before: Bournemouth and Boscombe Athletic. And that's who they were in 1923 when we played them and lost 2-0 in Division 3 South. So, first game we played there we lost. Then we were unbeaten in 3. And then we had a heavy defeat in 1928, 5-0. Then we lost 3-1, and then we had a couple of wins, and then got a fair few defeats as well. So it looks like a typical away performance, I think, in terms of 20% wins and whatnot. There are some heavy defeats though, heavy defeats. I hope we don't get one of them tomorrow. We've got 4-1 in 1953, we've got 4-0 in 1956, we've got 6-1 just after Christmas in 1956. Holy moly. And then we've got 4-0 1957. Obviously not doing well those couple of years there. Then we stem the flow with a 1-1 draw. Then the last game that we played at Bournemouth and Boscombe before they changed the name was on the 8th of April 1966, and we drew 0-0, also in League Division 3. Now we have to go up to get the next game, which is a bit weird. So we played them in 1966, and then we didn't play them again until, where is it? So here we are, 1966, and then remember that, because then we go up. We didn't play them again until 1983. And we lost that one as well, 3-0. So not been the best of journeys for Millwall travelling to Bournemouth. But since then, in the 1980s and the 1990s, in the early 2000s, not that bad really, not that bad. We lost in 21st of May 1984. That was in the Associate Members Cup. So is that really a loss? Is it really a loss? It was also quite late in the season, probably after the season though. 21st of May. And then we lost in 1998. So we had a 5-game run undefeated travelling down there over a fair few years. Then we lost in 1998, quite early in this season, 22nd of August, losing 3-0. And then we have 3 wins and a spin, which is probably our best, the record down there. 1999, 2000, obviously had a very good team then. Would that be Mark McGee era or just before? 1-1 in the auto windscreens, 2-1 and 2-1. And then we have quite a horrible run, which is where we get to today. So 2007, a 1-0 defeat. 2008, a 2-0 defeat. 2013, 5-2 defeat. Now, obviously, at recent times, they've been in the Premier League. They've got a bit of money. They've tidied themselves up. They've built themselves a new stadium. I don't think it was going in 2014, was it? I think it was after that. So I think this one, 2021, is definitely at that new ground. So that was 1-1. So you could say we haven't lost at their new ground, unless I don't think it's up. 2013. They weren't playing at the Vitality Stadium then, were they? I'm pretty sure they weren't. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but. So it would seem that we're undefeated at their new stadium, which you kind of see when a team moves to the new ground. They do struggle a bit. We did it at a new Den. Arsenal did it in the Emirates as well, though. Especially when you got like an iconic ground like the old Den or Highbury, and then you move to a new place. It's a bit of a culture shock. So we're undefeated at Bournemouth. At Bournemouth's new ground, a draw there, 1-1. But we have, so from this one, 5 games without a win. Last time we won there was the 23rd of December 2000. We haven't won there for 22 years. 5 games in 22 years. Now you can say we're due, or you can say that's a hell of a run. Now obviously they're on the uppers. They are second in the league. They're Premier League bound. Do they have any Premier League players in their squad though? They didn't. Solanke. I mean, he's kind of stand out. I don't know. But let's move on. So head to head, here we go. This is whoscored.com, and we're going to sort it home versus away. So you can see there were circumstances involved in that 5-2 defeat where we got heavily beaten. We had the player sent off. Okay, so maybe it wasn't that bad. So these are the last 6 games at Bournemouth, featuring Millwall. 3 wins for Bournemouth, 2 draws and 1 win. And again, that last win was in 2000, the year 2000, and that was 6 games ago. And it says here, Bournemouth are undefeated in their last 5 home matches against Millwall in all competitions. Indeed, the best we've got down there was a draw, 2-2 and 1-1. Draw ain't no good tomorrow. We got to win that game. Now, obviously, these games are in the middle of the season. They weren't must-win games, so that's something to consider if you want to put a glass half full slant on it. Let's do that, and then let's do that. While we go up to the table here, obviously Bournemouth are second in the table. We're 8th in the table. They've only lost 8 games. Let's have a look and see how their home form is. Wow, okay. They are very good at home. They've won 12, they've drawn 7, and they've only lost 3. They don't easily lose at home. Out of 22 games, they've only lost 3. gonna be a big ask tomorrow. Now, they've conceded 21 goals in 22 home games, so averaging 1 a game, which is good. If we can win 1-0, I'll be happy with that. They've scored 40 goals in 22. So this is over the season, but what are they like right now? Ah, shit. Okay. They haven't lost in 6 games. Obviously, the pressure's been on them. Nottingham Forest have been breathing down their necks, but we've only lost once in the last 6 games. Who was that to? Stoke, was it? I don't know. I remember. Yeah. So there you have that. That's pretty similar, no? That is pretty similar. There's not much in it. Let's look at the away form now. Our away form, obviously, overall. No, this one. Away standings over the season. Again, this is our away form over the season. 22 away games played, only winning 5, drawing 9, losing 8, scoring 21 goals, averaging a goal a game, conceding only 28. Not that bad. So obviously we can't be playing our typical away performance tomorrow. We need to do better than this, because this is not good enough. Turning up and doing what we've been doing all season at away games is not going to be good enough. So here is the form for both teams. Home games for Bournemouth, their last 6 home games, and for Millwall, their last 6 away games. Obviously, let's start with Millwall first. Obviously, not very good. Shockingly so. 2-2 against Birmingham, which was a last second penalty. Benfica in the 90+8th minute to salvage a draw out of that game, which we could have easily lost 2-1. Before that, the draw at Preston, draw at Luton, and then defeat to Stoke. So we failed to score against Stoke and Blackburn. We've conceded 2 goals at Stoke, Luton and Birmingham. Bournemouth, on the other hand, against Fulham, they drew 1-1. Now, Middlesbrough, the team who are comparable to us, drew 0-0 there. So if we could do that and then right at the end score and win 1-0, happy days. They did concede 2 to Bristol City, a very, very poor team who are Bristol City. And they've conceded against Reading, also a very poor team. And they also conceded against Fulham. They did keep clean sheets though against Forest, team chasing them. Middlesbrough, also a very good team. And Derby, an average team who are getting relegated because of their points deduction. So they haven't scored a lot. They scored 3 at Bristol City and scored 2 against Bournemouth. And the other games is they've scored 1 or 0. They scored 0 against Middlesbrough and they failed to score. And they've only scored 1 against Reading, Fulham and Forest. So if we can't keep a clean sheet like Middlesbrough did, hopefully we can keep them to 1. And then we've just got to go to score 2, which we have done. We did it at Luton and we did it at Birmingham. So it's possible. It's possible. A 2-1 is possible. And a 1-0 to Millwall is also possible. Wow. According to this, Bournemouth got more weaknesses than we do. Defending against long shots. Fabulous. Jed Wallace, shoot on sight. Avoiding fouling in dangerous areas. Fantastic. Set pieces. We'll have all aerial drills that week. Even better. Jake Cooper. Now, this is your moment, Jake Cooper. Score a couple of goals at the right end. Fantastic. So yeah, there you go. Let's get to the prediction now. as we get to the end of this video. Prediction. A late goal from substitute Kiefer Moore was all that separated the sides on Tuesday night as Bournemouth clinched promotion back to the Premier League with an impressive performance against their closest challengers, Nottingham Forest. The Cherries are unbeaten in 7 heading into the final day. So they are due to lose then. Fantastic, I like that. Millwall will hope that Scott Parker rotates his squad on the final day. The London club heads into the final day with a simple goal, knowing they need to claim victory on the south coast and hope for slip-ups from Luton and Middlesbrough. Gary outside are enjoying a 5-match unbeaten run but could come up just short in their bid for a top 6 finish. And they say that it's going to be Bournemouth 1, Millwall 1. Possible. Yeah, that is possible. Interesting stuff. Okay. Now, David Prutton, SkySports.com. What say you? So, here we go. So who is he tipping? Because obviously, when you're tipping the last games of the season, you're basically predicting who's going to go up into the playoff places. 2 from 4 for the playoff places. Who will make it? It has been some season in the Sky Bet Championship. The title has been won. Bournemouth will also join Fulham in the Premier League, and the relegation places have been decided. But there is always something to get excited about on final day, and we have one more day of drama to come. Nottingham Forest and Huddersfield have booked their playoff spots, but there are still 2 more to be secured, as Sheffield United, Luton, Middlesbrough and Millwall jostle for position. There's the table, as you can see. Sheffield United are in pole position, occupying 5th spot, and their own fate is very much in their hands. Facing the champions Fulham is a daunting prospect, and their demolition of Luton on Monday evening to seal the title showed that they aren't quite on the beach yet. I do worry for Luton. They have all kinds of injury issues to worry about, and their goal difference took a real kicking at Craven Cottage. They do, however, have a fairly kind fixture at home against Reading. Middlesbrough will be hoping for either side to slip up as they visit Preston, and Millwall will have been glad to see Bournemouth get over the line in midweek, as it is a far less daunting trip to the south coast than it would have been if the Cherries needed a result. There will be all kinds of twists and turns throughout the afternoon, I'm sure, but looking at the fixtures in the table, I have a feeling it could well be as you were by the final whistle. I fancy all 4 sides to win, but that will be no good for Middlesbrough and Millwall. So what's he saying? So he's predicting Sheffield United and Luton to make the playoffs. So here are his predictions. So he predicts Bournemouth, Millwall 1. So he thinks we're going to get a 1-0 win. And what does he say for he thinks Luton are going to win 2-0. He thinks Middlesbrough are going to win 2-1. And he thinks Sheffield United are actually going to beat Fulham 2-1. Don't know about that. So there you go. He thinks it's going to be as you was, same old. Everyone wins and everyone stays as they are. Well, I'll tell you what. I can see now, pretty sure that Millwall are going to do what they do as they normally do. Defend mostly for the first half. Come out in the second and try to play. Maybe they'll extend it further to about the 60th minute, 75th minute, and then try and play. Will that mean Jed Wallace coming off the bench like he did against Peterborough? Maybe. Would that be better than him starting? If he's not fully match fit, maybe it might be better. Now, if we're losing already by then, and there'll be no point, because maybe, I don't know, maybe he'll come on and do like Beckham versus Greece and just drag the team on his own shoulders and just score a hat trick. I don't know, but we need to be on point. We need to do what we do and do it well. We need a bit of luck. We need set pieces. We need them to work. We need them to rattle them. Yeah. We need to be playing well. It's not going to be easy. Now we know we can do it. We know we can do it. We've done it before. The answer is, can we get the goals? Because you need a bit of luck to get some goals. At this level, you can't just shoot and score on sight. It's not that easy. Now, can we keep a clean sheet against Bournemouth? Hopefully we can. I'm probably going to say that we will. I think so. Bournemouth are not going to score. Now, does that mean 0-0? No, I don't think so. I think we can score, like I said. We can definitely score from a set piece. It doesn't need to be pretty, it doesn't need to be beautiful, it doesn't need to be good football. It needs to be decisive and it needs to be lucky. That's all you need. That's all you need. So I think I'm going to say it's going to be Bournemouth 0, Millwall 1. I think we're going to win 1-0. And that's all I can predict, really. The other games, who knows? We need some kindness from other results to get in the playoffs. And we'll see if that happens. But I'm predicting it's going to be Bournemouth 0, Millwall 1. And I'll be very happy with that result, even if we don't end up getting in the playoffs, because that would probably be our best away result of the season. So yes please, come on Millwall. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.